right over? Good. How do you like it? Who else came from the company? Yeah.
How's it going? Nice to see you.
Including Q&A, right? So I'm only gonna talk for 3. And last time I had 7 or 8 minutes. So I gotta do it better. I don't have money. I'm not gonna say.
Officer.
Hi, oh, that's awesome. Just had Alexander.
Trying to get out of your way there. Didn't you think I caused more problem than help?
Head back to BC on Friday. Just wanted to come in. I met my wife there. Yeah. I've got a son that's out from all there.
So it was taken basically from your side, right? No? That's right.
Слушай, это же уже все.
Ну, сейчас 30 должны еще.
Hello? I'm just gonna quickly check if we have all the startups here. So, do we have real blocks? That's your, okay. Do we have all sites? Okay. We have Kumiko here, she's from New York. Do we have, secure?
Yes.
Okay. 8 dates. Michael, augmented intelligence, and so you guys. Trust signs. Trust signs. I think I saw it. Yeah. Okay. Plans map, Bill.
Here.
Okay. And strategy. Do we have? Oh, they might write it very clear. Okay, so I think we might start. I'm just gonna bring a couple of people back in the room and we can start. Yeah? Okay.
afternoon, everybody. My name is Maureen Malthus, and I head up the R&D for Equity program at Ameritech. We're going to get started now. I'm going to do just a brief introduction on what R&D for Equity is, and then I want to introduce our friends from RISE, who are so wonderful to host us here today. So R&D for Equity, for those of you who don't know, is a program that we started about 2 years ago that provides startups the opportunity to get world-class IT services in exchange for equity and then some cash as well, okay? So what this affords a startup is the opportunity to really leverage their capital, which is of course very important. Cash is king when you have a startup. And also it affords the startup the opportunity to have world-class IT services rather than hiring your cousin or your brother's best friend to do something that you need done at your startup. You have the opportunity to use really world-class services that are being used by Fortune 100 companies to do incredible work. But more importantly, as we all know, when you have a startup, what it affords you is time to market. If you can execute well and execute fast, you're to market first. So we currently have 4 companies in our portfolio. We're trying to get to 20 by 2020. I have about a dozen companies that I'm talking to at any given point in time. They range in all different industry sectors, so it's not one particular sector or another, although we do have quite a number of fintech. And they also range in terms of stage. Some are seed, some Series A, some Series B. The 2 things that they have in common, number 1, is that they are at a stage where technology is the primary barrier to their next step in development. And what I mean by that is that they need the technology developed in order to get to the next milestone. They are not struggling with marketing, business development, customer adoption. Those are not areas that we're going to be able to provide a huge amount of value add. So we're really looking for companies that technology is the primary barrier. The second element that's really different is that it's a 10x company. That's a term I use. And what I mean by that is that they're doing something different enough in their industry that it's going to change the industry radically by a factor of 10, not by a factor of 2 or 3. Or they're maybe creating a whole new industry, something that doesn't exist. Think of Uber. We use that term all the time now, and Uber wasn't even around 10 years ago. So those are the common factors. We are looking for companies that have ability to execute, a strong management team, and have been invested with the third parties. We are not a VC. We're not going to underwrite you. We are not going to be the first investor. We are looking for companies that have other investors already that have gone through that process of due diligence. That said, we do some level of due diligence to make sure that it's a good fit for us. The final note is that they're open to outsourcing IT. Some companies don't want to do that. They really want to own it. And we respect that, and that's fine, but if they're open to outsourcing some of the IT, that would be a great fit for us. So you might ask yourself the question, why would Ameritech, multi-million-dollar global company that does IT services, want to do work with startups? And the reason is that we use this as a means to achieve our vision, which is helping visionaries change the world. And what better way to do it than to work with startups? What it does for us is it provides us the ability to have deep expertise in leading edge technologies so that when our clients, which are Fortune 100, Fortune 1000 companies, need these capabilities, we have it. It also requires us to be much more agile and innovative because startups just force that hand on you. So we want to be able to retain that ability to be agile and innovative to help our visionaries achieve their success. And by working with the startups, we're able to do that. So today, a few logistics, okay? Each company, we have 10 companies, it's 5 minutes. If you can't see it, we do have a clock over there so that you can actually see it counting down. And we are going to be very strict on the 5 minutes, okay? We only have 1 mic. There's one for you to hear, but we also have one we want to put on you, which is for the video sound, okay? So in between, we ask that if you're the next company to present, if you could come over,
I guess over there is better.
over here, just to be at the tail end, so we can do a quick switch of the mic and get you on stage. We have about a minute plan in between each company, so it'll be pretty quick in between each company. And with that, I'd like to introduce Stefan Bicker. He is the person who heads up the Rise New York, amongst many other things. He's been with Barclays for about 6 years with a variety of different roles, starting in more of an IT project manager role and working his way. At this point, he's now heading up the Rise location with it, which is really focused primarily on fintech companies. So it's kind of a good fit given what we've got going on in our portfolio right now. So with that, I'd like to ask Stefan to come up.
Thank you. Clearly, we're at the forefront of technology here. Couldn't tell. All right, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I see a lot of friendly faces in the audience, so thank you all for being here. More importantly, thank you for joining us here at Rise. Rise is Barclays' open innovation platform. But more importantly, Rise is the home of fintech. Now, I know that's a really bold statement to make, saying that you are the home for fintech, which is a huge, huge industry. But fortunately, we've got the numbers to back it up. In the room that you're sitting in right now, we host about 35% of all fintech-related events in New York. Those seats that you walk by over there, around the world, we actually have 5 of these locations in New York, Mumbai, Tel Aviv, London, and Vilnius, where we host hundreds of fintech companies every single year. When we think about it, when you're an early stage company, what do you need? You need mentorship from a global financial institution like Barclays. You need access to capital, so we have VCs, angels that are part of our networking community that come in through the doors every single day. You need customers. Other financial institutions like Citibank, JP Morgan, et cetera, actually come into Rise to meet these fintech companies. We're here to create businesses that are creating industry-wide utilities for the future of financial services and technology. Now, Rise is also home to the Barclays Accelerator powered by Techstars. In fact, you're going to hear from one of the alumni later today. This is a global program that we run in New York, London, and Tel Aviv on an annual basis, and we've graduated almost 140 different companies since we started the program back in 2014. I'm biased, but I would say that it is the best fintech accelerator program in the world. So at the end of the day, we created this ecosystem, this community of entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, corporations that are committed to creating the future of technology and finance. And we're proud to partner with folks like Miratech to showcase some of these great technologies today. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for coming to Rise, and I hope you enjoy the time.
Stefan, can you turn on the AC?
All right, so rather than switch off the mic quickly, I'm going to introduce our first company because we are quite a tight schedule, RealBlocks. Come on over here so we can get you mic'd up. So as I said, if you're the second company, please come on over here, and at the end of the 5 minutes, we'll be micing you up to get you ready for the next round. And as I said, you can't see it, but there is a countdown clock here for 5 minutes, which we're going to keep it to strictly 5 minutes. I won't take a cane and pull you off the stage, but we might just cut you off.
Do you have a list with the order?
They can't hear you. This is sort of a video.
Oh,
Thank you.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Naman. I'm the part of the founding team at Railblocks. Railblocks is a real estate capital markets platform built on the Ethereum blockchain. We work with investors and provide them global access and liquidity for non-traded REITs and private placements. And we are excited because recently we signed a private equity fund called Capital, which has $40 billion under management, and we will be selling their non-traded REIT offerings on our platform. $145 billion of capital is raised annually in the private real estate investment market, and all of that is illiquid and inaccessible. And our solution to this problem is fairly simple, a three-step process. A user gets onto the platform, there's a user onboarding with KYC AML conducted on the platform. They go to buy a share of a non-traded REIT using fiat US dollars as well as digital currencies, Bitcoin or Ether or other altcoins that we support. And eventually they can get liquidity by trading peer-to-peer. This is a big advantage, and we believe that by this method we are able to solve or liquidate like $44 billion of capital that is locked in illiquid assets in non-traded REITs and private funds. And the advantage of using the blockchain in the short term is that it provides a global distribution. So the institutional sponsors can reach out to the retail investors anywhere in the world. It provides an unprecedented liquidity, and Ether or any of the altcoins act as a universal currency. And when the blockchain ecosystem would eventually mature, we will have more efficiency of seamless transactions and no intermediaries. All those costs would go further down. So the way the offering works is like we generate a feeder SPV that invests in the non-traded REIT. And the feeder SPV consists of a GP and LP structure, and we are essentially tokenizing the LP interest. And this is indicated via three offerings: Reg D offering, which is for accredited investors; Reg S offering for international; and qualified purchaser offering. Our tech stack is built on Ethereum blockchain, and the best part of this is we have built in-house tech to ensure all the compliance and regulatory protocols on the top of this Ethereum blockchain. Our revenue model is fairly simple. We charge an upfront transaction commission of 3% and a management fee of 25 basis points. Our team consists of 6 people. Actually, some of them are right here who are supporting me. Perrin is founder and CEO of Railblocks. He comes from a Barclays background and he graduated from MIT. Other people have a strong background in real estate tech, finance, and blockchain, smart contract coding, as well as marketing. Our advisors come from some of the best names in the industry. So we have people from Goldman Sachs, we have people from crowdfunding platforms like Reality Shares, Reality Mobile, and also some awesome blockchain platforms like Salt, and as well as wealth management platforms like Betterment and Ground Matrix. Our partnership, we are working with Thurman Watkins here in New York. Our broker-dealer is North Capital Private Securities, and on the compliance side, we are working with Identity Mind to ensure KYC and AML of each investor on our platform. In terms of competitive landscape, we see ourselves as very well positioned because we provide entire suite of services as compared to some of the other competitors in this space. So we are working on the capital market side as well as technology and the time trading aspect as well. Our roadmap is a 3-phased approach. In the phase 1, we will be launching with a non-traded REIT, as I mentioned, Colony Capital. We already have a pipeline of $12 billion built in there. In the phase 2, we will be expanding those financial products and probably take more private placements and additional asset classes. And eventually, in phase 3, we will be having our own real estate trading platform. We are right now in the process of raising a seed round, and we got very fortunate last week. We got a term sheet, and eventually, once the platform is launched, which will happen sometime late next month, you will be able to see our non-traded REIT offering in there. So yeah, this is a broad overview of what we are and what we are doing. Happy to answer any questions.
35 seconds for questions.
Time.
That's good timing.
We have any questions? All right, our next one is, yes, Alan.
On the technology side, when you use GPUs or ASICs?
Sorry?
When you use GPUs or ASICs for your blockchain platform?
GPUs or ASICs?
Yeah.
So that is
On the technology.
on the Ethereum blockchain, that can be used on the top of
blockchain implementations.
Right, right. So we are using ERC20 token standard, and we are building additional protocols on top of it. So there are security laws that we need to comply to, like for example, reg trading restrictions and all of them. So the smart contracts take care of all those trading restrictions. So the way it works is like we are using Ethereum blockchain is kind of provides a base, and we are building additional infrastructure on top of it. Thank you.
All right, our next one is Allsite. I have David here.
Thank you. Just wanted to say thanks to the folks from Miratech for inviting us to be here, and pressure is on because the first speaker made his time. All right, so we can do this. So I spent my whole career in the customer 360 space, and I have a real passion for using technology to help financial services organizations know more about their customers. Quick introduction to Allsite and who we are. We're a Toronto-based startup. Most of our employees have a good 15, 20 years plus of experience in solving the customer 360 problem, but we still have a real passion for innovation and using modern technology to solve this problem, because the truth is, this is an ever-evolving space, and I'm going to tell you more about that. So let's talk about the state of the customer experience for financial services companies today in 2018, and this comes from a lot of research and focus groups that we've conducted. First, customer experience sucks. We all have financial accounts. We all know what that experience looks like, and we've heard it directly from consumers, that they are unhappy with the experience that they're getting. They stay because out of apathy, really, and they don't think that they have better alternatives. Again, direct from consumers. 67% of customers will leave their financial institution after just one bad experience. Just one. Second, there are more data silos today than there were 10 years ago. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. We've invested so much in trying to get rid of these silos, but each new channel and each new business and each new acquisition just brings more. And therefore, the customer 360 is a constantly moving target. This is not a new term. This has been talked about for 25 years easily. What's new is all the data and all the channels and the ways that you can actually try and get a hold of that customer 360. When we started Allsite, we were actually very inspired by this and focused on the customer experience, not the technology, and went to consumers and asked them, what is your experience like? And what we found through focus groups was consumers have very strong opinions about how their banks and their insurance companies and their health management companies manage their data. They say, I don't understand why you don't have a single view of me as a customer. I go from one branch to the next. I go from a call center to a web experience, and you've forgotten who I am. What gives? And that actually surprises a lot of banks and insurance companies, that consumers are actually that tuned in to how they're managing their data. So what we focused on when we started Allsite was aligning strategic priorities with modern technology, utilizing some of the great data management technologies available with Hadoop and Spark and Graph, and applying them to solve a new class of problems, digital transformation. And the space has come to be known as customer intelligence platforms. To sort of situate where this exists versus existing investments, if we map this out, from operational to analytical applications on the x-axis and tools to applications, most financial services companies have these type of investments. Lots of data management technologies, warehouses, master data management, data lakes. They've got CRM systems, marketing platforms. What's in the middle is a gap, and that is consolidating data from all those silos and becoming intelligent about that data and making it usable for both operational and analytical purposes. That's what the intelligent data platform space is, and analysts such as 451 Group and Forrester Research are starting to recognize that. I'll explain what it is in 30 seconds. This slide has been drawn in various ways for the last 20 years. You've got silos of data on the left, you've got applications on the right, and you don't have a clear picture of it. What we built is something different that, number one, brings together all the data automatically. It starts to draw connections between the data. It then enriches the data with intelligence so that you become more intelligent about actions and experiences and what's truly on the mind of your customer. No sooner do we do that, do we actually then split it apart into different unique business views, because there is no one single version of the truth. Marketing needs to see a different version of the customer than sales. Each geography and business unit needs to see a different version. And then we make that available through applications and through APIs. And all of this isn't possible without modern technology. technology. Number one, machine learning to automate this, and number two, a lot of performance engineering, such that some of our biggest customers, like Dell, is actually pouring in 4 billion records on the left-hand side, and in a matter of days is coming out with hundreds of millions of synthesized customer records and different unique views of that customer. And that's what drives transformation. And this is what transformation looks like. For a marketer, the ability to have self-service data access and actually get their hands on good data and the data that they want to use. Operations, getting that 360 view of a customer, or data scientists navigating an identity graph and being able to pull that information. And for me, it's not the UIs that are the sexy part, it's the data underneath that's finally fixed. And in a nutshell, that's all Allsite. Great people that have allowed us to build a very, very good technology and a uniquely differentiated, a brand new market space called customer intelligence platforms, and branding clients already. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We don't have time for questions, but I'm sure David will be here right after our 10 pitches so that he can answer any questions that you may have. I think our next person is over here, Miko, and she is with Shark. She's getting wired up for us. I apologize, David, for having to come up and almost cut you off, but I was told 5 minutes, that's all you get. Here you go.
Hello, everyone. This is hi. I'm Kumiko from Shark. I'm a co-founder of this company. Have you ever wondered, maybe any of your clients or maybe the funds is connected to bad guys? We have the solutions and also the answers for those. What Shark does is so we provide anti-financial crime solutions by using blockchains, NLP, natural language processing, and fuzzy matchings. This means that we do pretty much one-stop solution for AML compliance. We have key features, blockchains and natural language processing, fuzzy matchings, meaning that we have KYC, and we also have CDD, and we also have chain analysis that goes through the processing of entire end-to-end life cycle of AML. We built this company together because we wanted to make sure all the, dirty monies out there is not going to the innocent hands to buy weapons to go through the workers. So how does this, blockchain ML solution really works? This one, not only just the KYC, is pretty much very simple screenings of sanction list, and we use NLP AI is to screen negative news so that you can only get negative news on natural language processing. For this blockchains, we cover not only just the cryptocurrencies, but we cover also for the fiat currencies. So when I talk about end-to-end, we're talking about any transaction that happens from ATM or the SWIFT or the transfer that goes all the way to the blockchains. So a lot of vendors or the solutions provider already have some basic portions, but what's different about Shark is that we cover everything with the fiat currencies and also the cryptocurrencies for the life cycle of compliances. So we pretty much cover everything that as a one whole compact. We do different currencies and so forth. So how do we really monitor this blockchain? This is one of the samples that we have as blockchain detection scenarios. So for, let's say Bitcoin was received in one of the exchange, and that was exchanged, converted to US dollars, and then that was withdrawn all from multiple ATMs in the same time. So we cover this whole life cycle so that we can detect what kind of actually transaction has happened with the addresses and also wallet IDs to make sure that this can be monitored very easily. So I can quickly show you. This time doesn't count. drawn from ATM and then got converted into different currencies, and then that goes to different addresses and blockchains, and the blockchains actually have what goes through your wallet. But if this doesn't work, then I can take questions if you want. I don't think it's. Yes.
From a forensic investigation perspective, does your technology allow you, let's say that you're looking at an emerging economy or emerging country where sometimes, there's a lot of transactions going from the central banks offshore because the leaders are siphoning off money.
It could be somewhere in one of those countries.
So does your technology allow you to trace? Okay.
This is global because this launched. We believe the blockchain or the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, is very big in Asia, especially Japan and Korea, and we trace not only the Asian countries but also anywhere in the Middle East and also worldwide as well. So it just goes because that's what the blockchain is really about. It's supposed to be, monitoring everything. Right. Okay. So I was just showing one of the alerts that we have. If you log into our interfaces, that you can see, let's just say, how the alert has been detected based on these transactions. For example, transaction IDs and so forth, and amount and base amount. And then if you go to the flow, source of funds, that I was talking about life cycle of the trades, where you can see everything from, okay, which ATM has been come from, this is just demo, but which currencies that it has came and actually went to which cryptocurrencies and which addresses that it has come from, and also which wallet ID has been done. So you can detect the whole entire process in order to perform compliance of this entire transactions. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, our next company is Secure. We have Tom Scapola, who's going to be presenting. And this is a little different because it's more in the security space.
We just have to do is go across my slides, don't change the screen.
We won't.
Okay.
I know.
Just let-
So, all right, you're on.
Almost. Don't start the clock yet. Don't worry, guys, we're just gonna go slide to slide. It's gonna be really easy.
I have no idea how it works. It changed it. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, but it's pronounced Secure. Hey, good afternoon. My name is Tom Scapola, and I founded a company called Secure. We're an enterprise SaaS software company that delivers security for complex hybrid virtualized computing environments. We enable customers to write one set of security policies that work across every layer of the network on any IP-enabled device. And this is a huge statement because we close gaping holes in today's security architecture, holes that have been enlarged by the Internet of Things and cloud-based infrastructure. Without security, the new paradigm is a pretty good one. Cloud and multi-cloud deployments are forcing massive changes in enterprise IT and forcing huge changes in network architecture. New technologies such as software-defined networking, SD-WAN, virtualization are delivering agility and performance and huge cost savings to customers. But they weren't necessarily engineered with security in mind. So today, customers are now asking to consolidate and improve their security offerings. They want platforms that offer multiple security functionalities. They want to consolidate and improve their vendor count. And they want to do it all while simplifying administration. But this is a lot harder than it sounds. All of these companies follow the virtualization path. And they all have security solutions rooted in legacy technologies. And they all collectively spend more than $3 billion addressing security failures
caused by these new security attack vectors. The root causes of these failures are pretty clear. All of these companies relied on traditional siloed solutions that candidly haven't worked in the past. So during the last 2 years, the team at Secure has really listened to our alpha customers, customers like the US Treasury, the CIA, and the FBI, who loved our technology, but they asked us if we could expand what we were doing to, in theory, include anything with an IP address. Our alpha customers simply stated, we want to know every time something accesses our network, what data is being sought, and does that party have access to view that data? And this sounds simple, and microsegmentation is a tremendous step forward for data centers, but it doesn't go far enough. Lost my train of thought for a second. So to really solve this problem requires a conceptual breakthrough and some clever techniques. But we've made that breakthrough, and we've developed those techniques. That breakthrough is called Secure Fabric. It's an enterprise security platform that works across any compute, any process, any infrastructure on any IP-enabled device, from data centers to digital door locks. I have to take a breath. What we do is enable customers to create one set of security policies that works across the entire network layer. Given our solution, we enable customers to write one set of security policies that have different behavioral characteristics depending on the layer where the enforcement is. So simply stated, you can use one set of security policies that delivers enforcement capabilities across the entire network stack. In addition, we provide an ironclad security envelope around the entire technology estate using dynamic and autonomous encryption. This is a game changer. One of the keys to our solution is something we call smart keys. 3 years ago, we developed the genesis of smart keys, which allowed us to create unique cryptographic identities, which we then use to build smart encryption, which we distribute throughout the network, ultimately yielding significant benefits in software-defined complex environments. This is a big deal because analysts estimate that this market will be $30 billion in the next 5 years, and that's up from 0 4 years ago. More importantly, it'll add 40,000 new customers. That's our target market. Analysts also agree that security will capture 10% of the spend in this market arena. That's our revenue opportunity. So where are we in our roadmap? Well, we've built the keys, and we've tested them with alpha customers for the last several years. We've built the encryption, and then we've now architected our solution. We have 4 co-development partners on board to build our MVP, including the New York Treasury, a major bank, and a PBM. We're seeking $1,750,000 to hire a development team to bring our MVP to fruition. And we'd be thrilled to talk with anyone here today about the technologies of our patents, our protocols, and our technology. And real quick, 10 seconds to talk about the team. So as a team, we have 5 successful exits from startup to sale. We have deep experience, we have real money committed, and we have numerous patents awarded and pending. In summary, we understand how to build products and drive revenue. Thanks for your time this afternoon from the team at Secure.
Thank you, Thomas. All right, who do we have up next?
8 dates.
Come on over, Michael. You're gonna get hooked up over here? We have Michael Casey from 8 Dates, shifting once again to a completely different industry, the dating industry. So we're going to talk about a very different dating app.
And where is the?
Who stole
I
that
have it.
picture? Oh, you did.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like everybody to go back and think about when you fell in love with your significant other. What do you remember most about that? Those moments are magical in our lifetime. You probably remember where you were, what band you were listening to if you were at a concert. If you were at the grocery store, you probably remember what aisle you were in, probably the wine aisle. That's okay, we don't judge anybody. But we remember those moments when we met somebody, and they're truly, truly magical. Problem is, they don't currently exist in the dating space. The current dating situation and the apps that are out there that have us meet our significant other are functionally broken. They're culturally broken, and they're socially just not very acceptable right now. The women are complaining, and they're complaining about being swiped on endless times with conversations that go nowhere. 50 matches a day. What are you going to do with that? What happened to the way our grandparents met, and the way our parents met, when our grandparents were chivalrous, and they did shared, meaningful experiences together in relationships? Well, we're 8 days, and we plan on bringing shared experience, meaningful ways to meet somebody back to the dating space. Quite simply, we're recommending romance for newly matched couples. There's 40 million people in the United States that currently are on dating apps, and it's growing at 7% annually. The market is massive. There's 400 million people worldwide. Our customer that we're targeting is a 28 and up customer. Who we're not targeting is somebody who's in college and just wants to swipe and go have a drink. We're going after the affluent one who wants something more than just being swiped on. Timing is everything in business, and execution is even more important than the idea itself. Right now, the Me Too Time's Up movement positions us as a perfect company to bring slow dating to the dating space versus fast. And with machine learning and the technology that exists right now, you can actually pull AI off the shelf, plug it into our app for our recommendation engine. So we plan, our secret is to extend customer touch points with our recommendation engine, use the machine learning from our partners, and add, this is the most important part, we're adding additional affiliate revenue streams. There's an untapped revenue stream in the dating space, the actual dates. That's where all the money's spent. Yet Tinder does $800 million a year and is #1 in the App Store, and all they do is match. So imagine the amount of revenue stream that's available to participate in the dates. Speaking of Tinder, we used their UX UI guys in California to do our UX UI prior to going to Meritech. They've also done Uber and Airbnb, so we felt like we probably have the best UX UI guys in the world right now. Before we launched the product, we went out and signed up Facebook OpenTable and dozens of other affiliates. I come from an affiliate marketing background, so I'm very familiar with how to get revenue off of third-party revenue streams. We've raised nearly $500,000 to date, and we're about 30% complete in the build with Meritech. We're probably ready to launch January, February 2019. So life's too short for boring romances. We plan on changing that. We're looking for $1 million prior to closing the seed round before we launch. Thank you.
Any questions from anybody?
Just a quick one.
Yep.
So you're taking care of half of the equation, which is your target, which are women, 30 to 70 women.
Yeah.
What about the other half of the equation?
So we're,
The men.
The men? Well, we're taking care of the women by coaching the men and giving them recommendations on what to do. When you swipe on somebody and you match, and you get into the chat room, you're like, hey, what do you want to do? Well, our AI machine learning knows what you like, and we know what she likes, and we serve that up. It's almost as if you and your wife or your girlfriend showed up at the Four Seasons and told the concierge, what should we do this weekend? That's our app.
Where are you guys currently hosting your infrastructure?
With Meritech. So I guess in Kiev, right now.
What if married folks don't know what to do together? Can you
That's a great question. So we designed it to have a funnel when you come in. If you're married, you can go right into the recommendations. If you're single, you go right into the single people. So we've already addressed that. We're not going to launch the married side of it until we perfect. You know, we're going to do our cupcake first, birthday cake, and then the wedding cake will be the married side. Thank you.
I am not their target market, so we've already addressed the need for the wedding cake. All right, our next one is CityCom, and we have Antoine to do his pitch on CityCom.
Hello everyone, thank you. My name is Antoine Stephan. I'm the product manager at CityCom Solutions. So CityCom was created in 2013 in London. Initially we were actually distributing and reselling voice recording solutions for trading floor, for the investment banking. And very quickly we expanded from London to New York, and we have an office now in Singapore and Australia. So what we learned from this experience in reselling and integrating voice recording solutions is that most of the implementations that are being conducted on trading floors around the world, the voice quality is a problem. From our experience, less than 30% of what's being recorded on the trading floor is actually usable in good quality for whatever usage that can be. It can be for a regulator, for playing back, or maybe for investigation purposes, or even for quality measurement as well. So what we decided to do is to build in-house a solution to actually measure the quality of what has been recorded on the trading floor. We estimate this market of regulated people on the trading floor, about 500,000 people, composed of about 125,000 people using turrets, which are phone systems for traders, and the rest of them are using either mobile phones or regular IP telephony like Cisco phones. So that's our target market. What we do is actually, our clients are the global banks, and we help them with solutions and services to be compliant with their voice communications. That's our main mission. So we have different roles within these organizations. First of all, advisory role. We can help clients actually to build the compliance workflow by hiring people, defining and designing the compliance workflows, like what technology to use and what type of people they need to onboard, and how their businesses need to be run. So that's one of the roles we have. Our solution, which is the software that we developed internally, called AVQM, that measures the quality of the voice records. Integration role, I mentioned that, so we can actually go and source for the client, run RFPs, and implement voice recording solutions, archiving, transcription, and so on. And then the fourth one is actually we can manage for the client end-to-end processes around voice management. So we would do everything from implementation to the compliance workflow. So what we provide, sorry, it's a small glitch in our presentation. So we take the voice records at the beginning, the metadata and the audio files that are being recorded by the client, and we run that through our product, AVQM, and we can actually have a dashboard that actually gives the status of their voice quality. I'm going to show you in detail. The second step is actually to sort all of the voice calls into three main categories: good quality, medium quality, and bad quality. And what we can do is a report on medium and bad quality. That's very important for investigation purposes, for instance, because the client can build a defensible report to give to the regulator or the authority to say, okay, these are the calls that we actually missed the recording, or the quality is so bad that they are not usable. So reduce that from the scope of the investigation. And then the good quality files can be kept for further investigation. So by doing this, what we do is that we detect different technical issues in order to improve continuously the voice recording infrastructure. We can reduce the operational costs for the clients, because today the checks are done on a sampling, and we can run that to the entire trading floor. We can proactively, of course, inform the compliance team about the usability of the calls, and provide increased surveillance efficiency for the client. So this is the dashboard. That's how it looks like, with all the parameters that the client can use. And we can also provide this kind of reports. These are the list of the files with the score that we can get from our tool. So our next step in our building up is that we actually put AVQM as part of a global platform from end-to-end surveillance workflow. So basically the voice quality sits in the middle, and then for all the calls that we estimate as good calls, we push them to the voice transcription and voice analytics, or actually to push voice as another data that can be used for surveillance. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Any questions for Anton?
Yes.
Which quality problems? Are they typically driven by the technology, like the network latency, or
No.
driven by traders not having the right data maps?
Technology is one. The second is the poor implementation at the very beginning of the voice recording. And then the third is how they are set up, the background noise and the use of the phone systems that the traders have. So it's multiple sources of problems.
I guess I'm thinking, is it a persistent problem because it's driven by behavior, or is it a fixable problem where if you just put the right instruction and you would need this message?
Well, we make the assumption that the voice has been recorded, right? So we are not talking about the cases where the traders skip the recording by not using the phone that is being given, right? So we cannot do anything if the
Or using it badly.
or whatever, right? So that's the problem we are fixing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so next up we have augmented intelligence, and we have Mari Lesko, who's going to share with us what they're doing in the social services space.
I'm Marty Lesko. I am the CEO of Augmented Intelligence. I'm going to set the stage. This is a market that probably not very many of you are involved in, but it's the social services market in the United States. It consists of foster care services, adoption services, mental health, substance abuse, elderly care, disability services. A lot of government services that we don't see in our demographic, but that constitute about 36% of government spend. Major organizations like the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, LA Department of Mental Health, these are just some examples. There is an entire market of nonprofits that work with the government. Some of those are Lutheran Services of America, Catholic Charities, a whole long list of philanthropic organizations that provide case management services to those in need. From an IT perspective, the market size is approximately $2.8 billion. 1.2 million people are employed in the space, and 3.1 billion of that is dedicated to IT. The major problems that these organizations have are caseloads and the ability to spend time with the clients they're serving. Typically, a caseworker spends 17% of their time with clients providing services, where we'd like that to be upwards of 40%, and that's where our solutions come into play. There are loads and loads and loads of data in the form of case notes that really have, the caseworker does not have the ability to consume that data and digest it. So it's all this data with nothing to do with it. This is where our solutions come in. So our solutions are in 3 separate areas. One, artificial intelligence. So we're using natural language processing to consume case notes and provide caseworkers with the information they need to understand the people that they're visiting with and providing care for. A couple solutions would be a timeline of that case history, a summary of what that caseworker should understand before they're meeting with the client, high-risk issues, and then we'll use machine learning to recommend to that caseworker the appropriate actions that should be taken when meeting with the client. Now, what's important to understand is we're not replacing that caseworker's own decision-making process. We're augmenting their ability to provide services. So they may think these are the top 3 things they should do. Our computer will help to validate that course of action so that they can provide the highest level of service and, in industry terms, maximize outcomes with clients. The second piece is case coordination. So really today, casework is handled on an issue-by-issue basis. We have the IT systems to integrate all of the services that are being provided to that client so that they can understand holistically what's going on and provide recommendations based on all of the different services that that client's being provided, whether it's being provided directly by the government or by nonprofits as well. And then the professional services to redesign their business processes, as well as install their IT infrastructure to support our technology. Where we are now, we raised $750,000 out of $1 million from 3 members of YPO. Another $250,000 to go. We have a robust pipeline, including Lutheran Services of America, California Department of Social Services, and the Ohio court system for drug courts. Partnerships with IBM, Essex Tech, MarkLogic, and Valier. These are companies that provide case management and care management software, AI development, as well as visualizations for the software that would be used by these agencies. Our team consists of myself and my 3 partners who have been in this market for decades. They provide high-end consulting services at the top levels of government. They have a Rolodex across the country which represents our pipeline. Our competitive advantage, like I said, is our long-term relationships with customers, as well as our deep understanding of how to bring this technology to human services, and also the ability to set the strategic direction for this industry. Our development needs are to build our AI platform that can be replicated from customer to customer, as well as the top the first 3 applications for this market. We're offering 5% equity and the opportunity to take professional services to this market from a post-sales perspective. Summary, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to skip the summary.
Questions?
So next up, Evan. Long screen mic. So have you seen enough variety? Social services, investment banking, dating app, security. Enough variety? There's more to come. We have another Canadian here, Evan Tracco, and he is with Trust Science.
Stick it in your pocket.
Hi everyone, my name is Evan. The last name is Krapko. It's a good name for a diaper company someday. But I'm the founder, CEO, and chairman of Trust Science. We're a company that does people scoring as a service, and by that I mean we're specifically focused in lending. There are other verticals that we're not addressing yet, but we are architected for things like law enforcement, homeland security, and e-commerce. But we're going to land in fintech and expand next into e-commerce. I'm going to spend a disproportionate amount of my time on this section because it speaks volumes, and I'm pretty proud of the team. David grew up here in New York. He's now on the East Coast, on the West Coast. He's the CFO who took Facebook public. He's been enormously valuable to us because our emphasis is on publicly accessible data and things that you can get from the phone, your mobile phone, the phones of the applicants or borrowers. And we've also got a list here that I'll just quickly summarize. So the 800-pound gorillas in our space are FICO, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The immediately prior CIO of FICO is on our board of advisors. We have a VP of Equifax on the board that you can see on our website. And then the CFO of the Americas unit of a top 10 global bank based here in New York is an investor, and a few others that I can drill into if you want to talk to me after in the lobby. May and my brother are the founders. Cumulative total of exits, for our career now, 2 decades long, we've delivered $600 million in liquid value. That's the delta. That's not counting anything that was there in situations that we came to. And we control the company. Our CTO, I'm pretty proud of. We took 2 years to get him. Chris was sat with Neil, the co-founder of Netflix, and did the incubation and product roadmap for what we all now know and love as Netflix. Prior to that, it was something else that people may remember was using the U.S. Postal Service to send physical media. So we wanted someone who understood scale and security and end users in his Brian, we just hired recently in Silicon Valley. He ran profit and loss for a $750 million division of SAP. He could do my job. He took that to $750 million from a much smaller number. He's on point for everything having to do with the product. The problem is that the 800-pound gorillas are using old data or data that's structured, which is only 0.5% of data on the planet. We're looking at the other 99.5%. It's a big problem, but there's enormous signal. And the numbers, I'll show you in a very simplified chart in a moment, but the problem is that loans are misplaced or mispriced or not placed at all where they could have been. And so the solution that we offer as a software as a service to our bank lending customers is it's getting the same results on recommending good loans. The baseline on the left is our customers. The baseline on the left is our customers who are putting out money into the wrong hands. This is the smaller circle is what we would recommend have been done. And so the opportunity is that crescent. That purple crescent is what you can turn back into good loans instead of watching it walk out the door and never come back. So we're underway in a real market. We have traction now as of Q3. We're ahead of schedule on that front and across the 3 countries in North America now. We are able to go further, but our mantra is focus. The investment is so far $5 million, raised from across over a dozen YPO members and others. We have share prices has been increasing nicely up and to the right, and the use of funds will be primarily on marketing and go-to-market sales efforts and so on. We do have 27 patents in 6 countries around the world because I had the idea 10 years ago before we started the building and construction 2 years ago. So we're a startup with enormous intellectual, defendable proprietary intellectual property. We have a blockchain project that we're going to do, and that will be where use of funds goes, and also a big, huge need in technology development. If you go to our landing page, this is where the blockchain appears. There's nothing else there besides that. In 10 years or 15 years, this will cannibalize the 4 big gorillas and even ourselves. But we believe in eating your own technological children.
Quick question. So credit evaluation application with current technology databases and infrastructure, basically short.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
So it's a credit evaluation application using the most current state-of-the-art technology, software, and infrastructure.
Correct. It's AI powered, and we have to look at all data that the others aren't looking at.
Displace the legacy technology, basically.
Sorry?
Displace the legacy technology.
Correct. It's attacking that $10 billion a year of revenue that the current credit agencies enjoy, cumulative total. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. All right, next up we have Bill Blevins from PlansMap. A little more variety.
I don't know why they let me in here, but I think it's because I told them I was fintech. Because we're raising our Series A, and we're always looking for ways to make more money. So, all right. When does this start? Ready? I'm Bill Blevins with PlansMap, one of the co-founders, and we make interactive plant tags that connect people's smartphones to their plants. They're NFC enabled and QR code enabled, and we're passing some around. These codes link to people's maps. How did I go back? They link to photo galleries. I'm missing a slide here. Maps, we do maps. Plant pages where people can document the plants that are in their yard or arboretum or botanical garden with notes and measurements and stories and locations. And you can collect your photos of your plants and show somebody that a plant that you planted in 2014 grew to 16 feet in 2017, so they'll believe you. All of this is smartphone friendly. It's a mobile web app. Here's the map. Some people are very meticulous, put their plants in straight lines and make a circle. And then this is a customer that we imported their plants last week at a university, and that's about 500 plants of 27,000 that will be on the site by the end of the year. Each one of those dots goes to one of those plant pages. And you can create organizations. So our biggest users are organizations. And if you want to go see PlantsMap in action, and you're out by the Apple Store in Central Park, walk to the New York City Parks Department headquarters and ask if you can go upstairs, and they have a rooftop garden with all of their plants documented, PlantsMap tags. You can play with the tags and learn about the plants on the roof at the New York City Parks and Rec. We have about 7,000 individual users, about 6,000 profiles, and they span all of the different categories of horticulture. These are some of our paying customers. This is a carpet company with 88,000 plants. Google did their headquarter cafeteria area where their employees eat, so their employees would know what the plants were around them. Toyota did a 11,000 square foot pollinator garden. University of District Columbia, 18,000 square foot green roof to study plants that grow on green roofs. Nationwide Insurance has 44,000 tropical plants in the atrium of their headquarters in Columbus, Ohio. So we're documenting people's plants, or they're documenting people's plants using PlantsMap. It's a huge industry. The $196 billion is just the consumer part of gardening and landscaping. Then there's the forestry department, then there's vegetable gardening, then there's commercial farming, and then the cannabis industry, and it gets really big. But 77% of households participate in gardening. And the fastest growing demo is males under 35, and the 35 and under contingency makes up about 30% of the market. We're growing pretty quickly. 40% user growth year over year in the first 6 months. No advertising, grew revenue. And with Miratech's help, since February, they got us past a huge roadblock and launched what we call the Plant Finder. It's kind of like buying shoes on Zappos or a television on Amazon, but now you can find plants to buy, and people are paying us to put their inventories in. You can also find the garden up the street and places to visit. So we're forecasted to have a run rate over 1 million mid-year next year, 19,000 users. We just sold our first NFC-enabled tags last week this year with Miratech's help, beginning October 15th. That's our next big launch day for development. And then we go into software as a service. That's where our real monthly recurring revenue is going to come from. These tools that these users have asked for to do interactive tours and to do management of many companies that are underneath the landscape companies. So monthly software as a service tools. And all of these should be live by February. We're seeking our Series A to develop these software as a service tools, automate our tag and sign buying process, and to do the GDPR update because we have a lot of interest in Europe. And that's PlantsMap.
Any questions for Bill?
How'd you like the FinTech joke?
Has this product been presented to the legal market at all here in the United States? It just seems like there's a correlation there.
Yep, so there, someone in this room has suggested that we turn this product into a tool to track museum artwork because it travels around, and we're talking with the VC in Seattle about using PlantsMap in the cannabis market. The problem there is it needs to be white labeled and private. So it wouldn't be a public site. But the tool is built to track artwork, to track anything that has a location. And there's thousands of data points. So yes, is the answer.
All right.
We're here.
Satoshi,
Satoshi.
Satoshi, another cryptocurrency fintech company.
Hello? Hello? I need to use this, or?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? I need to use this, or?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Okay. How are you all guys doing? So I can imagine that I must be almost the last one. Is this really bad, or? Okay, great. So I'm sure you're all eager to go out in the sun, so I'm going to try to make it really, really short and crisp and share with you what we've been up to at Satoshi throughout the last couple of... Sure. Thank you. What we have been up to throughout the last couple of months and within 2018 Satoshi. So what we really are is a managed cryptocurrency platform that allows anyone to invest into cryptocurrencies. So what does this mean? That works. So 81% of Americans actually have less than 5K in their savings accounts. What this tells us is that the market right now is just booming out of spending money, and consumer spending within the last 10 years especially has just grown and grown and grown. Especially amongst millennials who are really driven by the instant gratification idea of wanting things now and now. So what we see is that people are just not investing. Not because they don't want to, but just out of lack of education and potentially also lack of money, even though people earn a lot of money, right? So, I'm not going to stand in the way here. So there's 434 million credit and debit cards being used at least one time a month in the US. This tells us that the annual sort of roundup market that there is potentially is really, really big. And to explain that, it means that when you spend, you could potentially also invest. And this is what we're really trying to help people do. So following that, as you can see, 52% of Americans have actually never made an investment in anything yet. And this is where we come in. So to step sort of one back, go one back, what we're really trying to solve is that the complexity around getting into crypto is really high. It requires market knowledge, it requires knowing when and what to buy and sell, and there's a lot of complexity just around involved in the process. So what we've built is this app, which is, by the way, now both live on Android and iOS, that enables you to invest into crypto without having sort of any prior knowledge within the space. So some of the sort of momentum we've gained is that we've obtained an SEC investment advisor license as one of the first companies within our vertical. It's the same license as many of the other robo-advisors in the space have. And we will be amongst the first going to App Store with that. So even though this guy looks really, really funny, this guy's probably the Williamsburg guy, this guy's the Wall Street guy, what we really think is interesting and trying to solve, I can see some of you laughing now, because you're all looking like that one, sorry, is that we're really trying to sort of bring this gap together between the old traditional model of burning money and giving that access to everyone, also the Williamsburg hipster. We need to have some fun here. So the market cap for this has really, really grown. And as we can see just throughout last year, it has really 10x. And projections tells us that the increase just speaks for itself, that potentially will happen throughout the next 7 years. So to give you a better understanding of how our competition is comprised, we have sort of the experience of and tool way of investing, and investing in high risk, high return, low risk, low return, right? So I think where we're really different is that we give you access to a portfolio which is completely managed for you. So as a user, you don't have to deal with anything in terms of buying and selling and actually doing anything, saving you a lot of time. And I see it needs to speed up. So going to market, we could also, always talk about sort of Facebook and Google and the traditional methods of advertising, but what I think is interesting is we try to sort of navigate some different channels, and we've recruited brand ambassadors from the major schools and universities across East Coast to sort of help us spread the word. And as we are targeting the first-time non-tech investors, these are the places that we'll find them. We have some interesting partnerships coming up as well. So the founding team consists of me and Oliver and Gable. No one can pronounce my name, so we'll just talk about those two. Oliver has been in the space for the last 7 years, and been really, really active, working for large European banks. And Gabriel has been, he's a developer, has been developing for the last 15 years, and working out of Silicon Valley. I myself, besides just trying to impress you guys, have been really, really active on user acquisition and marketing throughout the last so years. So I know that I'm running over time, but we'll survive. This is the timeline that would look like. We are now, we just approached the market as of last week, and I'm really excited to go out. These are some of the previous investors that we've had inside Satoshi. And so in summary, what we're really just trying to do is to give access to anyone who is a first-time investor with sort of easier access to the space. And we will soon be opening up, this is the last and most important part, a seed round of $2.5 million.
Thank you so much. I think we are finished. We got 10 companies in 1 hour, which was pretty remarkable. Kept it to, did you think we were going to do it? 10 companies in an hour?
Great job.
I didn't even have to use my cane to pull them off. All right, so now please join us in the open area out here for networking. Each of the folks that have been presented are here. They're open to discussion. The idea is to give you just enough information so that you are curious and can learn more by going up to each of the individual companies and learning more. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us.